And now, Detailing Success and PNS Double Black present the Renny Doyle Podcast, a podcast for blue-collar entrepreneurs. Hosted by the detailer of Air Force One and founder of both Detailing Success and the Detail Mafia, Renny Doyle.
All right, hey, welcome to PNS SEMA 2022 Wednesday. Hey, we're having a party tonight. Anybody know about that? The industry's having a party tonight. And so if you want more information, let us know. But we're going to talk about today is coatings. And offering coatings is add-on surfaces and a kind of a new way of looking at coatings. And so our panel today is all shop owners, and they're very active shop owners, different parts of the country. So we're going to go through and ask them some questions and see if we can't kind of get a new way of thinking maybe out there. And then also some successful ways of thinking, because these gentlemen have been in the trenches and doing a great job. So with that, we'll start to my right. We'll introduce yourself, your name, your shop, where you're out of.
Josh Pierce, Iowa City, Iowa, Carousel Auto Appearance.
And then guys, as you talk, I learned this from, I can't remember who I learned this from. Set it right on your chin when you talk, right on your chin. You set it right up there and you'll be nice and loud, and you have no problem being loud. All right,
down here.
Introduce yourself.
What's up, guys? I'm Tucker Mathieson with Revive Auto Detailing. We're based out of New Hampshire.
Rick Walling, Ultimate Auto Detail, and we're out of Salem, Oregon.
Touch that chin, man. Touch that chin.
Justin Labato, JL Showroom Auto Salon, Melbourne, Florida.
Right on. So, hey, let's jump right into this. So, we've been kind of the economy. I think we're hearing that almost every hour of the day is on the news, wherever you read. We're witnessing shortages, all these different things, but we're starting to see things cool. The automotive market, especially in the collector cars, some collector cars is starting to change a little bit. Ordinary daily drivers that are nice are starting to change a little bit. We're starting to see some job restrictions coming through, inflation's out of all these different things. But with that said, detailing is going into a challenging time that we've got some tools we didn't have in the last slowdown. We had coatings, but nobody knew about them. And so with that being said, we've been kind of training people to rethink how they think coatings. And we've put it into where we don't talk about coatings for lasting years. We talk about coatings lasting for washes, or we talk about coatings lasting for seasons. And so we've been really promoting our current students to kind of get more into the seasonal coating market. So even if a car has been coated, let's say you did it last year, is you bring them back in and you put a winter coating on. What's that mean? Something that's real chemical resistant, that's going to hold up to it, that tops it over the top of that. During the summer, maybe a lighter coating that's going to give depth and have a nice experience, a wash experience. So with that being said, what do you think some of the benefits or some of the struggles are with that mentality? Justin, we'll start on your way and work our way across.
Well, ceramic coating changed the game for detailers, revenue, lifestyles. They did a lot for the industry. They put guys that were doing 5 figures to 6 figures, 6 figures to 7 figures. It really changed the game. And there's a lot of different options. And the way I see it is not what's on the bottle as much as what's in the bottle, the recipe, right? You know what I mean? And it's like going to a pizza place. Everybody has a great pie that they claim is the world's best pie, but we know when it comes down to it, it's the sauce that makes the difference, right? And that's what happens when it comes down.
Not that you're Italian.
I'm just saying. So with that as an analogy, it's the same thing. What's in the bottle? What's the chemistry? What's the recipe of that chemistry? What does it truly deliver on based on what they market on? Because there are some outlandish marketing, rock chip, orange peel. There's some crap out there that is just so misleading to the end user consumer, along with the new detailer that's being misled. So I think it's a matter of dialing in exactly what that formula is going to do and execute. And then also, educating the customer on the maintenance value to help keep that value up in its performance and how it's going to do that. So whether it is a seasonal approach, and that's based on the market, right? Is that if that's
Absolutely.
what sells, great. Or if you get the 8 years out of it, then you sell a seasonal maintenance or an annual maintenance to help promote those characteristics to continue to last.
Yeah, a couple points to that is to nail off that is there's definitely a market for the most hardy coatings out there. But an illustration of this is there's not many coating manufacturers in reality. And one of the manufacturers is telling me, I'll leave them nameless, but a coating manufacturer they're selling to, that they build a product for, is selling it at their coating as the easiest lifetime coating to apply. And the company that builds it for them, that's their 1-year coating. And so there's a lot of snake oil. There's good coatings being poorly represented. And it's really, it's going to affect the buyers more than anything, and it's going to come back on us. So great points. There are markets out there that are going to be top dollar, but there's markets that aren't.
But do you want a lifetime coating or a lifetime customer is the question.
Oh man, that's golden right there. Did you guys hear that? Do you want a lifetime coating or a lifetime customer? I mean, I'm going to take notes out after that. That's going in the notebook, man.
This subject area, I'm sorry, but I could ride on this all day long. This is my baby.
That is awesome. All right.
Well, I would have to say, going off of just what Justin said there a little bit about it's only important what's in the bottle, knowing what it is. I think it's also important to know your product. Just pick the one that you know and figure out everything about it. That way you can sell it much more effectively. At least that's what works for me. We're at PNS. I use a ton of PNS products. I'm super familiar with them, so I can really give my customers a lot of solid information because I use these products every day. We see how they work. We know when they come back in. So you having the knowledge of that specific product instead of, trying everything out there. Yeah, it's good to try a lot of new stuff. You want to do that, but don't get caught up in that rat race of trying everything out there. Find one that works good for you. Learn about it, make sure they've got a good support team, and that's what works for us. And then as far as the seasonal, depending on where you're at, we're really close to some popular skiing areas, and so man, we really start to push, hey, it's ski season, time to really get, you're driving up where there's snow on the roads. Amen. And they're using they're using salt or this or that. Man, you really need that coating to protect that vehicle, and that's what you've got to really push on your customers. So as far as seasonal, that's kind of the way we try to push it, is the skiers and people that do that stuff in the off season.
No, that's brilliant. And you bring up another topic, is getting familiar with what the coatings you're installing are actually capable of doing. And that's going to take you having it on your own cars or cars that you have a lot of contact with. And so that's a really great point. So, all right, young man.
Just to piggyback.
I got to tell you though. Before
Here we go.
I don't know what's more attractive about you, is that the sunglasses being on, or the damn mustache.
Well, I just got sensitive eyes. This is not for aesthetics.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
That's just a bonus.
So what now? Okay, so now opposite side. I mean, this is what's cool. Florida in the house, Oregon in the house. Now we got the Northeast in the house. We got the Midwest. So this is going to be an interesting panel. So what's your take on this?
Yeah, so piggybacking off what Rick just said about winter coatings, we get a lot of snow up where we are. So putting a coating on before winter is a great upsell for the customer. We've already done their main coating. Bring them in for a wash clay coat topper on that main coating. It's going to work really well over the winter, and then it comes in summertime. We can just do a basic maintenance wash, top it with some bead maker. It looks great for the summer when we're not going to be hammering on the car with all the salt and road debris. So it stays looking good all year long, and we can get that customer coming back in every 6 months and make sure their coating is living up to what it's supposed to be doing. So that's worked really well for us.
That's cool. That's great input.
I got nothing to add. You
Follow
guys
that.
covered it all. I mean, that's what we do, Midwest.
That's cool. Okay, so next question, we're going to go right in there. Economy's changing. Okay. First off, is it affected? Are you seeing it? I'm just going to go down the line. You feeling it in your market yet?
Yes and no. Our dealership end of things is strong as ever. Retail's a little bit
sluggish.
Our big tickets are still there. It's just the lower end retail stuff is what we're kind of slowing down on.
We may be a bit of an outlier. We're seeing a lot of uptick in coatings correction work where we are, but we're in a really niche community in our state where most of the population is affluent. You get too far outside of that, and you start seeing the economy really take effect.
There you go. Rick?
Yeah, we're definitely seeing a slowdown, at work. We've definitely noticed that here probably the last 30 days. It's really took a drop. And I kind of think, mommy years in business, I've been doing this 30 years. I think what it is we're kind of running into a perfect storm because we have the time of year, which slows things down a little bit. We've got the election coming up, which that always people don't realize it, but when you're in business for a long time, you realize that election years or
It's
election
weird. It
times
gets
tend
weird.
to, people are like, they're unsure and they might
Right.
not want to spend money and that.
Yeah.
And so, you run into that situation too. So we are kind of a little bit in that area right now. We're with the inflation also. So there's three things I think kind of playing against us right now in the detail industry and the coating industry, because those higher ticket items, but depending on your customer base, they can kind of slowly go away. And that's actually where the express coatings and stuff come in. That's been working for us really well.
That's good.
Is selling those quick coatings.
We'll jump into
stuff,
that one here next. So, Justin?
To me, it's about the language that you speak to the customer base. So it's not so much the economic decline. It's a matter of what you've marketed towards. Like, for example, I market towards the business owner, not towards the employees of the business owner.
Gotcha.
I want the infinite money, the guy with the deeper pockets that have multiple vehicles, and I want to speak the language to them and their community. So I continue to get that. So when the economy takes a crap, they're still spending.
Gotcha.
They're still buying new vehicles. They're the ones keeping the dealerships open.
Absolutely, because it's even if when you get to a certain level of wealth, even not like rich wealth, I'm just talking wealth. There's certain things you're not going to go without, and a decent car is one of them.
Well,
might not be buying the Porsche 911,
yeah,
but you're going to have a nice ride.
Well, and the way I see that is I like to market to new money. You'll have old money. Old money is great with retention, right? That's your retention money. But new money is the new customer. And let's face it, detailing is detailing. It's a luxury service. They're going to come. They're going to go. Some are going to be lifelong customers. Some are going to be 1-year customers. But the more new money you accumulate, the more of those bigger tickets you could also accumulate, the more you can fill your schedule.
So now we're going to ask the next question. Kind of goes to what Rick was talking about. We're going to stack this. We're going to go to the middle and then go out to the ends. Is that you guys have been in business for a while. Your dad and you have been in business. You're young, but you've been around. So even if things haven't slowed down, in your mind, are there services that are going to stay attractive to people across a broader band when it comes to coatings? Is there something that you're offering right now that you feel secure that's just not going to be affected by it? Rick?
Kind of what I just mentioned a little bit ago is the express coatings, because they're a much lower price point and they're a super easy add-on. If somebody's already doing a detail and they might not think they're in the market for a coating, but with some of these easier to use, really quickly applied coatings, you can sell them for a really attractive price point. And that's really works for us. And then of course, when you're doing an express job like that or something, glass coatings. Add those little add-ons. So you get them in with a low price point. You bump them up a little bit with a nice low coating price point, and then you start adding the glass and maybe some wheel faces and that other kind of stuff. Maybe even interior coating. Hey, it's wintertime. You're going to be dirty getting in and out of the car. So those little things adding on is that really adds up for us big time if you do it time and time again.
Okay, so you're in a fluid market, but is your mind already? Are you kind of planning out? Okay, things slow down. This is what we're going to kind of do or already doing.
Yeah, so we're pretty used to that just every winter. We know our market's going to slow down, so we have been pretty good at making sure we're taken care of through the slow season, whether that's 6 months over the winter or the next year or two as the economy starts to slow down. What we've really doubled down on is wholesale coatings, so hitting up the dealerships because they're using these coatings that aren't really coatings. They're those spray waxes. They're selling it to the customer for pretty much what we're going to do a coating for anyways. So getting in touch with those dealerships, being our wholesale guy, we get a brand new car in, wash, clay, coat. We've got a couple of years of protection on that. They can sell it at a premium, and we don't even have to be customer facing at that point. So it takes a lot of labor out of our side.
I like that. Good input.
Yeah, I mean, we're with Tucker. We're dealership coatings. We do a ton of them. The wash clay coat with Soul, we're really hammering that out. So I mean, that's $400 or $500 a pop.
Yeah, that works. Justin.
So my approach, I believe, is I don't want to say it's foolproof, but it allows me to basically tailor the services based on the customer's wants and needs. So I offer different categories, different levels based on longevity. So to your point, it also allows me to take those categories and also play with different products. So if I want to make something more relevant in that category, if it's a 2-year product, I could come to the table with the most relevant chemistry. And that other stuff I was using for past 2 years, it doesn't hurt the customer because now I'm replacing it with something better. But the point to that is that it's all about, if I get the 1 year coating at $400 and I get 10 of those customers, it's great during a recession or downside. And then every so often I'll be able to fish out a good $1,500 coating or $2,500 coating. But the point to that is having those options to continue to feed the beast, fill the schedule. And once the schedule's filled with no matter what level of coating structure that is, the schedule's filled. The money's there.
I like it. So, this is going to be a tricky question. Is really, and Josh, I'm going to start with you this time, is what's selling in your market? What's the price points, the ranges? What do you sell the most of? What's kind of the top end ticket that you're getting in your shop on a regular or semi-regular? And then what's kind of the lower end?
So the wash clay sole, I mean, we're selling, 10 to 15 a week.
10 to 15 a week. What's the price point on that?
$400 to $500 depending on the car.
Smokes. That's no paint correction. That's just, but it's on the appropriate car. I can see detailers cringing right now.
Yeah.
Is that, I'm going to own this. I owned it yesterday. A year ago, I got my truck that I built up, a pretty amazing overland vehicle, right? I didn't have time to correct it. And I really didn't want to correct it because it's an off-road vehicle. It's going out in the desert and the mountains all the time. I immediately brought it home, washed it, decontaminated it, clayed it, and coated it. And it looks amazing, and it's easier to deal with. Sole, what we're talking about now, is our coating. Is we did the same thing. My wife just bought a vehicle. Again, I'm here. I'm not going to have time to coat it. Washed it, decontaminated it, clayed it, and put sole on it. And so that's how long does it take your guys to do that?
We're about 2 hours.
That's cool.
And with that, on like our customer car, you get them back in the next year, do it again, or they bump up to your next tier coating.
Gotcha. So what's the high end coatings that you're dealing?
We do about 15 to 2,000 for our Legend.
Gotcha.
That's the appropriate paint correction. If they want perfection, it's going to be more.
There, got it. Okay, we're gonna go over to the end this time. Justin, yours?
I would say the most common and most profitable service is a 1-step with a 3-year coating because it's the happy medium in my market. It allows basically it's that sweet spot. It keeps them right in that range that's affordable and budget friendly, but it also allows them to manipulate whether they want to go up or down, because once we get to that point where they want to be where it's the enhancement of their paint, whether that be 1 step or multiple steps, then they get to choose where they want to be on the range from that 1 year all the way up. So it allows them to manipulate their own budget. But that 3-year ends up being the sweet spot. And then I do have another service that I call what's called a restore and seal. So it's kind of similar to the wash, clay, and seal approach. But with that, when we talk about a true decontamination, right? We're also talking about the wash, the chemical decon, the physical decon. But the very last thing that a lot of people leave out is a decon by abrasion, which is basically just taking your liquid abrasive in your pad and abrading the surface to make sure you strip away any existing products, spent clear coat, spent product, starting with a fresh surface that can bond. So, and going back to the point like we talked about the other day, with some of these durable sealants that are on the market from the dealerships that are preloaded. Now, obviously, this is going to be more regional, knowing your market and what dealerships load these. But that might be the only thing that might be controversy in regards to that service, because some of these sealants, traditional polymer Teflon sealants, are durable as heck. You could throw all kinds of chemicals at them and they still bounce back and bead. And you're like, damn, that's good stuff. But if you don't notice that and you go throwing whatever coating, whether it's Sol or any other manufacturer on it, it's not going to have integrity of bond. So now you're falling short and you've just shorted your customer, and it's not your fault. You just didn't see it.
Absolutely. You got to pay attention, man. You've got, when you get done, if it's still repelling stuff, then you got to go to plan B.
Application was so easy. There was something on there already. You got to go to plan B. To my point, there's we have what's called a restore and seal service, and that basically sets people up for success to get their vehicle restored, the paint to health and luster, and then we seal it, and we use an entry-level ceramic. We actually use Bulletproof from car products for that. And what that does,
been around a long time. Great
bingo.
Product.
And I know I'm going to easy 8 to 12 months out of that, right?
Yeah.
The other thing it does is it sets me up for success for upsales. Because now I could sell them on a 15-month formula or a 24-month formula. The only thing I did was change the bottle and my profit.
That's it. All right, we'll start here. Go.
Our big ones we have a similar package called a Restore Exterior, and that's a full decon wash and a 1-step with an all-in-one like Playmaker. And restores the shine. It's really popular because the car looks awesome when it's done. Doesn't leave a ton of protection, 6 months or so on there. And then our most popular package, aside from just in and out details, would be our 1-step with a 5-year. And we've priced it so that the 3-year is less attractive because the 5-year is just as easy to put on using Legend, throw it on there, and it looks awesome. And we can just make a couple $100 more and kind of push that customer to use the best product out there. We still get a couple of the 3 years, but I'd say it's probably 4-1.
Well, and again, it's going to be client specific and then climate specific. And so, Rick.
So in that field, what's kind of working for us right now is actually scheduling in details and then upselling them on the entry level ceramic coating. So that is actually a really nice bump. That's a $300 bump on each detail we do. And so that's really been working for us. That's an easy sell if you've got your technique down at all. The other thing that's really selling for us now is new cars with no correction, coating them, because people are jumping all over that. We give them the price points, with no correction. And then I say, this is, another $500 for correction. People are going for it on these, especially the new cars, like Josh over here, with no paint correction, and they're just ecstatic. They're still super happy. So, I think sometimes as a detailer, you got to get out of your own way because we all want to be perfection. It's like, oh God, I can't sell this without polishing it. But if you got a happy customer and you're making money,
my truck looked so amazing when I was done. I'd ask detailers, hey, is that corrected? And from 5-10 feet back, they're like, yeah, man, did a nice job. I was like, I didn't touch a polisher to that thing. It's coated.
We did the same thing with my truck.
Yeah.
Ask Marvin. He did it. They coated me like, oh, this is going to take 2 days to polish this thing out. And so I'm just like
no interest.
Yeah, we bead maker it every time it's washed. It looks fantastic.
So let me ask you this. So we asked this going into that right off that. So you kind of answered it already. Is there a market for not coating, not correcting cars? Is there a market? I think a lot of technicians, a lot of craftsmen look at this and they're addicted to that shine and they have to correct. But is there a place out there where you don't correct a car and you coat it?
There's going to have to be. I mean, with the amount of paint that's on these new cars.
Oh, there you go.
You're not going to be able to do corrections.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday. Down, I mean, you take and measure this paint in the mills. Diane's brand new vehicle in the 2s.
Yeah.
In the 2s.
Yep, we see it all the time with
that's
the
a great
Mazdas
point. And that's what Diane's got. Now here's an amazing thing. This is crazy. When she bought her car, they had 3 of the identical cars. She took the paint gauge down with her, and she got the car. How she selected which one, all the same. One had 1 mil of paint more on it. I told her that's because it was painted on a Wednesday. The other 2 were painted on a Monday or Friday. But it's crazy because the other 2, one of them had 2.1 as an average. There is no paint system on there. And so that's a great point. There is.
Yeah, we're doing, new car prep, as everyone said. That wash clay coat works well. We're also finding on older enthusiast vehicles that really don't have a lot of paint left as well, I can't really correct them down too much. So maybe I'm doing a light 1-step at best. But some of these cars are just, they want to preserve the original paint. There's not much left. Clear coat's starting to go. We do a lot of old Porsches at our shop. So they're coming in, wash, clay coat, and you can protect. We just had a gentleman who bought back his late father's old Porsche, and there just wasn't much we could do to it.
Wow.
So we protected that, preserved the original paint that was on his father's car 30 years ago.
That's cool. So we got your answer already. Justin, the pad guy, the perfectionist guy, you are, what's your brand name?
Reflection Artist.
Reflection Artist. So can Reflection Artist take and put a coating on an uncorrected car? Oh,
yes,
he's choking on that
and
one.
No. Yes and no. So yes, because at the end of the day, clean, shiny, and protected, right? And that hasn't changed since the 80s and 90s with wash and wax or wash clay and wax. And so what's the difference between the wash, clay, and coat, right? There's not much. You're clean, shiny, and protected. You're still doing justice to the customer's vehicle by preservation.
Absolutely.
And enhancement, right? And the prettiness, the pep in the step. I got the cars cleaned up for the weekend. But I still firmly believe that the last step of decon is by not polishing to correct, but polishing to clean the paint. you still have to have that one last step of at least buzzing it down just to clean the paint with a good pad from Buff and Shine. And then, of course, a good mild abrasive. And that's something that you won't take away or hinder or compromise the thickness of the paint. You'll just basically bring up the health of the paint system by removing any spent product and then having that full integrity of bond, getting it surgically clean.
I like that. All right. Hey, last question. We're going to go into this is that what other coatings are out there that are add-on? We spoke about you go to restaurants, you go to other company, you go to if you go get a nice suit made, what are they going to outfit with you? They're going to take and want to fit you for shirts. They're going to want to fit you for ties, handkerchief, socks. My tailor that's in Riverside, California, a small tailor shop, I walk out of there, I've got everything that matches. And it's add-on, sir. He probably makes as much off of all the accessories than he does off the suit. And I think we've got to really get that mentality that every car that comes into your shop has got an opportunity to be more than a one-item buy. It's a more than a one-item purchase. So we'll start back where we started at the beginning. We'll go right down the line. Justin.
It's an easy one. I mean, you got glass, you got trim, you got rims, you got so many other surfaces that you could do as an add-on. And I'm not a bundle person. I do not like the bundle idea. I just feel like there's not enough margin there, because if you have your right pricing that you've monitored, that you know your margin at, and you could add to that, then you're going to be more profitable. But as soon as you make that a bundle, you start to lose profit immediately because you don't give the opportunity whether they wanted it or not. So all those add-ons are necessary to be more profitable.
Now, your shop, and I know you guys are the same, and I know, let's see what this is going to be. It's not just coatings. It's PPF.
Window tint, PPF.
Yeah.
Full detail supply storefront, selling water by the gallon. So then you become a local hub to the professionals and the consumers.
That's awesome. Rick?
To go off what you just said, being a storefront, I know Josh is a storefront too, man, that's a great deal, because every car we detail or coat, we're easily able to, you're going to want this to help preserve it. And we pretty much almost have a little package we add on to the bill already, and say, this is your maintenance packages that goes with it. Occasionally we'll throw that in, but most of the time we're charging for that. And so, that is a great add-on. And like you said, I do PPF also. And so those are by far my best tickets. If we can get a full new car paint correction, add a full front clip PPF, you're in the, the $4,000 category on a car that takes 3 days, 2 days, maybe, if you're doing good. And that, so those add-ons. And also just, we kind of went over all the different parts of the cars, but if you want an extra big add-on, you can pull the wheels and do the wheel barrels and the brake calipers and all these extra little parts. Anything you can think of that adds value to the customer and stuff. And you got to know the customer you're talking to as far as what to sell them,
Well, we learned a long time ago, show them the whole menu. Let them see. They might walk in the door and you might not think they have two dimes to rub together, but yet they do. And so show them the whole menu. So
that's where you sell up to sell down. Put the $5,000 detail on the menu, just to be like, you could be here, but you don't want to be. So we're going to work you back down to where we want you to be.
We used to have a hood at our Texas office and our Idaho office, and it was we had it PPF'd. Back in the day it was clear bra, but we had the hood corrected, and it was nothing done to it. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and then a full sand and correction. And everybody go, wow, I want that. How much is that for my car? And I was like, $5,200. Okay, I want that one. How much is that one? And it was a great way to kind of determine. The other thing, if people's car looks trash, why are you going to take them all the way over here if it's a daily driver, when in 2 weeks it's going to look back down into one of those? You got to realize that. Tucker?
Good one for us. The PPF upsell is awesome when you can get it. Now our packages start over $2,000 for the add-on, so it's not everyone that's buying that, but if you don't offer it, you're never going to get it. Interior coatings on new vehicles have been really popular. They come in, I want to protect my paint, and then I hit them with, have you thought about protecting your interior or glass? And always offer every single add-on that you have. And I just do it in casual passing. Okay, so we've decided we want to do the 5-year coating. We also offer things like wheels, glass, interior coatings. Does any of that sound interesting to you? And just open the door to let them sell themselves.
I love it, and I think that's a great way to look at it. Josh?
Yep. So Rick and we should be brothers, man. I mean, our businesses are about the same, I think. Storefront, PPF tent, we do pretty good with that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, guys. Well, hey, I appreciate this. Hey, Chris, give me a deck of those cards real quick. So those that haven't seen this is a deck of cards we had made for SEMA here. What we're doing is SEMA's got a great program called SEMA Cares. And so for every $10 donation, we'll get one of these. The donation goes 100% to SEMA Cares, and it's all about the kids. And so if you want to get a deck of cards, they're limited. They're never the same. Come on over, grab it. We'd love to do that. Also, we've got a little party tonight over at the place. It's an Old Town little party, a few hundred of our best friends. It's not our party, it's your party. It's all of us going to party. And so we want to thank you guys. Guys, thank you so much for coming in. We hope this was beneficial. Cool to be back at SEMA, huh?
Very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah,
thank you for
good.
having us. This has been fun.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Hey, Renny Doyle live from SEMA. We sure appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Make sure to make comments here. Smash that like button. Make sure to share it if you dig what you're seeing. Come by and see us at the booth. And again, tomorrow at 1 o'clock what's the topic for tomorrow? We're bringing in, is it add-on sales tomorrow? Is that Thursday? That's Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow's Thursday. I think it's add-on sales.
I think it was add-on.
Yeah, I think it's add-on items. So aftermarket add-on items. So, all right, guys, take care. We'll see you. Come by and say hi. Get a deck of cards. Help the kids out. We'll see you later.
Thanks for listening to the Renny Doyle podcast, brought to you by Detailing Success and PNS Double Black. Listen to new episodes weekly, and be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And don't forget to share with your friends and colleagues.